Hello everyone, my name is Thomas Yalu and I'm working for Wildlife Conservation Society here in Solomon Islands as a community engagement officer. For this presentation, I will share with you my work with one of the projects that we implement here in Solomon Islands, and that is the Kiwa WISH Plus project. All Pacific Island countries, as we know, are depend mostly on the biodiversity, the ecosystem that surrounds them, for their livelihood needs. And due to the impacts of climate change, our people are really facing hard time for them to improve their livelihood as well as to maintain the environment that they live within. So the Kiwa Wish Plus project is trying to help reduce these impacts through certain nature-based solutions that we can apply to help improve our livelihood in the Pacific Islands, as well as to improve the biodiversity that we really depends on for our survival. So the project is implemented in three of the major island countries in the Pacific, and that is PNG, Fiji, and Solomon Islands. So here in Solomon Islands, we implement the project in Kolobangara, which is one of the islands that are rich in biodiversity in Solomon. So by implementing this project in the communities, it will help the people's livelihood who depend mostly on the biodiversity, as well as to maintain and sustain the biodiversity in the island that is very important for the country as well as the neighboring Pacific Island countries as well. The Kiwa Wish Plus project is implemented in 8 different communities in Kolbangara. So Kolbangara Island is located in the western province of the Solomon Islands, and it have like 5 major tribal groups with sub-tribes who are occupying the customary lands in the island. The island itself is very rich in biodiversity. It provides variety of ecosystem services for the people in Kolbangara. The people really depend on the biodiversity for food, for water, for building materials. They also depend on the wild crops and gardening for income. Also, they depend on plantations, timber plantation for their income as well. They also focus on fisheries, which is they fish around the areas in the island for market. So this is one of the main reason. Helping the communities in Kolbangara will also help manage the biodiversity as well as to maintain their livelihood. So the Kolbangara Island also support different types of plants and animals, and some of which are endemic to the country as well as for the island itself. The island also have many rivers and streams, and these rivers and streams also support aquatic species, as well as it is one of the main um, areas that people also use for drinking water as well as other livelihood needs that they have. So by protecting the biodiversity in the island is very important so that it can help maintain the status of the environment as well as people's livelihood. So the main objectives of the Kiwa Wish Plus project is trying to help the communities improve the livelihood as well as the ecosystem and biodiversity. So through this, we're trying to introduce nature-based solutions as well as trying to improve the sanitation and water for the communities. Throughout our meetings with the communities, they also raised that the number one issue for them is the lack of water and sanitation, and also they point out that this leads to pollution of rivers, lands, and also the coastal areas. So that is one of the main area that we are trying to work with, the livelihood side of the communities, especially water and sanitation. The process that we follow to implement the project in these communities is through certain process, and the first one is the FPIC process. So by doing the FPIC process, we explain to the communities what are the project goals, the objectives. We also discuss with them what are the benefits that the people and the biodiversity will gain from the project, and also we from the discussion we share ideas between communities and um, the project implementers, WCS. So the FPIC process help us gain information from the communities as well. So we also look at different groups of people in the community. We look at both men and women. We ask for their ideas, their concern about what are the needs that they really look for in the community, and what are the helps that they really need in the community. So for working with these communities, my first experience here with the communities is that livelihood is very important for them, and for us to help them improve their livelihood will also help improve the management of their resources as well. So that is one of the basic areas that we as a organization we have to look at. We have to look at all areas in communities, what are the main needs that they want. So for most of these communities, livelihood is a very important area that they point out that need to be improved in the community, so that it won't be affect the biodiversity of the island. So with the gender risk assessment, we find it very helpful for us to gain information from men and women, since there are two separate group discussion for both genders. Women especially, they are more active during the discussion. They share more ideas, their views, they share their concern for the environment, and since women are the most vulnerable people in our communities, in the Pacific Island communities, and with the climate change impacts, they face more difficulties as well. So during this discussion, they share more ideas, they are more active as well, and they are confident to give what they think it's best for us to help them. And that is why I think the gender risk assessment is very helpful for us during the FPIC process. So for most of these communities, they already engage in one of the nature-based solutions, which is on the objective for the project, and that is the protected area. So these 8 communities that we chose for the Kiwa WISH project, they already in a tribal groups that are currently working on the protected area, and that is one of the advantages that we have for implementing the project in the communities. So because they already go through a PA process, and by involving them in this Kiwa WISH project, it will merge the management strategies that they have for PA as well as the Kiwa WISH project. The other nature-based solutions that we are still yet to work on is the reforestation and soil conservation. And most of these are not new concept for the communities as well, especially reforestation, since we've been practicing this for a long time. These two activities will come after the riparian zone survey that we currently working on right now in the community. So after that activity, we'll be looking at what type of plants that we'll be trying to regenerate within those areas that we studied. So that are some of the nature-based solutions that we are yet to be working on with the communities. So that's the short presentation for the Kiwa WISH project. Thank you very much.